Hey y'all, how you doing? So, as you can see, I'm coming to you from my patio or the back porch today. And yesterday I was out here and I did a quick video to show you how to harvest dandelion root and how dandelion root can be used in hoodoo and southern folk magic to make wishes come true. And so, um, after I was done, I was out here, digging more up, and look what I found. Are you ready? Look at there. Can you see that? That's just a little green marble. Nice little translucent green marble. And it reminded me of a story that I'm gonna share with you today. So, when I was growing up in my grandma's house, we were Baptist. I was raised Baptist, and my grandma, she used to get this newsletter every month from some Baptist organization. I don't know what the name of it was, and I love to read, so I would read everything I got my hands on, and so sometimes I would take this newsletter and read it too. And once in a while they'd have these very interesting stories in it. And I remember this one story. It was about this African woman who identified as a witch, and it read like propaganda because she led a life of witchcraft, whatever. And she found the missionaries came along. She found Jesus, and she was no longer a witch. But to read the story, today we probably wouldn't have called her a witch. We might have called her more of a shaman. And she talked about a little bit about her practices as a witch. She talked about how people would come to her for healing, and she would grind herbs up in her mortar and pestle. And it showed a picture of her sitting on this dirt floor with a mortar and pestle between her legs, grinding these herbs. And she would talk about how she would pray to God to give strength to the herbs and empower the herbs. And she could see the spirits going into her potions or ointments or preparations. And she said sometimes if God didn't listen, she would pray to the devil. And she also talked a little bit about some of her tools. So one of her tools was just a little marble, probably not even as big as this one, a little marble. And she used that marble to see spirits and talk to them. And we would call that scrying today, or what some people call crystal gazing. So, this just goes to show you, you don't have to have a huge, expensive crystal ball to do this. You can use something as simple as a marble or a bowl of water. And she talked about how she could go into these trances looking into this marble, and she could find out what would cure a person, or where to find water on a person's property, or where a lost child or even cattle can be found. So that doesn't sound like the work of the devil to me, but take it as you will. But anyway, reading that story, I got to thinking, well, back when I was young, every little boy had like a little mason jar of marbles. I don't know if little boys still play marbles or capture marbles. But when I was little, most every little boy had a little mason jar or bag of marbles, and we would play marbles against each other. And for those of you who don't know how to play, you basically draw a circle in the dirt, dump your marbles in the center of the circle of dirt. You have an opponent. He calls his marble, so I would say, oh, this is my marble, and you would use this marble, take turns to try to knock another marble out of that circle. And then whatever marble you took out of that circle, you got to keep. And whoever had the most marbles at the end of the game won. So anyway, I went through my little jar of marbles, and I found one I thought was suitable, and I practiced staring into that marble, trying to find a vision or something. And it probably took about a week before I started seeing something, but I learned two things. Number one, as y'all can see, I wear glasses, and I'm nearsighted. And so I learned that it's easier for me if I take my glasses off. And number two, you don't look at the marble, you look through the marble or whatever, the mirror or whatever it is you're using. Don't look at it, look through it, and then relax. And then if you have the sight or if you can train yourself, the images will come. So it took me about a week, and I was looking into my little marble, and finally something looked back. I saw this face. It was a human face. It was female. And this face just looked at me in a way that made me feel real uncomfortable. I didn't like it. And so I put the marble away. I thought a little bit about maybe what it meant, but I didn't know at the time. So anyway, a couple days later, my grandma or grandpa, somebody, sent me up to the Piggly Wiggly to pick up something. So I went into Piggly Wiggly and I bought whatever it was, and I gave the girl my money, and I reached my hand out to take my change. And suddenly that girl looked at me, and she had the same look on her face as what I'd seen in the marble. It was half disgust, half fear. And it made me feel really uncomfortable, just like I felt when I first saw the image in the marble. And so, to this day, I still don't know what the girl's problem was, what her problem was with me. Maybe she saw me in a marble on her end. I don't know. So anyway, I took my change and I got out of there, and that was a very powerful experience for me because I'd seen something that later came true. So I did continue to scry, even though my gift is more with the tarot. I do see images in my head when I read the tarot, but I can do it with crystals and things too. But another tool that I use to scry with, I'm going to show you here. A lot of people talk about using mirrors or bowls of water or whatever, but one of my main tools for scrying, and I hope y'all can see this. Here, let me put it against this. That right there is the lens out of an old pair of glasses that I had. When I got me some new glasses, these glasses were falling apart. And I was going to donate them to the Lions Club or something, but they were falling apart, and something told me to keep them. And then it dawned on me, I had a dream, and in the dream I was staring into this glass, and I could see things in this glass, and the mirror was shaped funny, kind of like, and when I saw this again, I realized it was this. So as you can see, this is sort of concave. It's the outside, that's the inside. And so what I do when I scry with this, you see I keep it in this black bag. I lay it on this black bag. So basically I have kind of like a little black mirror here. And I have the concave side up. And I put it in front of me, and there's like a little glare that I'll see on it. And I look through the glass, and I just calm my mind, and I let the images come to me. And so that is my main tool for scrying when I do practice scrying. But anyway, that's my story of scrying and how I used a marble to see a glimpse of the future. I hope you like this video, and have a great day, everybody. I'll see you next time.